need to be put in check.
Tony, the safest hands are still our own.
I'm doing what has to be done to stop something worse.
How long are you gonna play both sides?
Do you really want to punch your way out of this?
You chose the wrong side.
Keep telling yourself that.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So new Captain America footage, we finally get to see Black Panther take a swipe at Cap's shield. There are going to be so many cat jokes after this movie comes out. Black Panther is such a badass character in the comics that people always have a real hard time saying who would win in a fight, Captain America or Black Panther, because Cap has his super soldier serum, he has his vibranium shield, he's a military trained fighter, but Black Panther also has the vibranium weave suit, which is almost impenetrable, vibranium claws, and he's physically enhanced by the herbs that he takes in that help connect him to the Panther god. So on paper, you can kind of see how they're almost the same character, just from different parts of the world. Both have vibranium, so really, when you're talking about who would win in a fight, it depends on what the circumstances of the fight are. Cap is always going to have his morals, so I feel like in this situation, he's like the Superman character, the person who pulls his punches. Black Panther does not do that. So I think at his worst, Black Panther is the equal of Captain America in any situation. If Cap did not have his shield, he wouldn't last more than a couple minutes with Black Panther. If Black Panther didn't have his suit, hadn't taken his herbs, also, he would not last a couple minutes with Captain America. So it really just depends on one of them catching the other off guard, which usually is not the situation because they've been teammates for so long in the comics. It's just like Captain America fighting Iron Man. They don't bum rush each other. It's more like a boxing match where it's like, are we going to do this? Are we really going to do this? Okay, let's go. I could do this all day. I don't know that they've shown it in previous trailers, but there have been some images with Cap's shield with claw marks in it. This is just where those claw marks come from. Just in the context of the movie, because this is the first time we're seeing Black Panther, I think they're only going to tease some of the things that he can do. Like, we'll see him do some really badass stuff in the suit, and it'll be like, oh my god, who is this guy? Cap won't know that much about him or his abilities, so he'll be completely caught off guard when he sees his shield is not a complete defense against the vibranium claws. They kind of addressed this during Avengers Age of Ultron, when Cap throws his shield and it gets stuck inside Ultron. Ultron did not get the chance to make a vibranium body, but the only weapon that's going to be effective against vibranium armor is another vibranium weapon. So you have Black Panther's claws gouging the shit out of Cap's shield. They haven't really said how they're going to explain Black Panther's herbal enhancement. It's not going to be like the super soldier serum or anything like that. The herb that he eats is sacred, it's very rare, but the movie might go some other route. It's really a combination of science and nature rather than straight up science like Cap's super soldier serum. Like, thematically, you feel Black Panther is more connected to nature than, say, like Captain America is. But from the looks of it, what'll happen is Black Panther will show up and be a badass first, then we'll learn about the mechanics behind his abilities. And because it's such a big film, they're probably going to save a lot of the lore of Wakanda in the history of Black Panther for the solo film. So quick intro to the character in Civil War. He probably gets fought to a standstill. I don't think they're going to let him get his ass kicked. They want you to think the character is a badass. So I think at worst, someone will just be able to fight him to a standstill. You don't really think about it from a logistical standpoint too often, but you have all these Avengers flying at each other. How do you make half of them look really badass without making the other half look really stupid for losing a fight so easily? That's where they have stuff like this Hawkeye Black Widow scene, where you get the sense that they're both pulling punches. They don't want to hurt their friend, but they also can't let them take the Winter Soldier, so immovable object meets unstoppable force. And speaking of which, I know people always talk about the Hulk trying to pick up Thor's hammer is a really good example of that. In the comics, Black Panther has been able to severely wound the Hulk, so just to give you an idea of how hard he's able to punch. But let me know in the comments, who do you think would win in a fight, assuming there's no foul play, Black Panther or Captain America? I feel like Captain America would take the first fight, then Black Panther would fight dirty, Cap, who does not fight dirty, would lose the second fight, and then the third would wind up in some sort of draw because Black Panther isn't evil, and Cap isn't going to kill someone. Just expect them to find creative ways around that in the movie. Like, someone will stop the fight before someone actually ends up winning. It's like Apollo Creed versus Rocky. The Bell stopped that fight. Then after Rocky 3, they have the rematch behind closed doors, and they actually answered the question of who won that fight in the new Creed movie, which is just a nice Easter egg for the old Rocky movies. So that's actually good. Black Panther versus Captain America, kind of like Apollo Creed versus Rocky. But what's going to happen next is there's a couple shows on break this week, so I'll be doing bonus videos for The Flash. There is new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I'll post new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tomorrow. I know you guys were asking me all about the Doctor Strange pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch walking around. He even walked into a comic book store in Manhattan in full costume to buy Doctor Strange The Oath comic. It's so hilarious. I think what I'll do is I'll make that my first video on Tuesday. So new Flash, new Doctor Strange, new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming. If you guys haven't seen it, you can click here to learn all about the post-credit scenes I think are going to be in Captain America Civil War, and you can click here to learn a little bit more about Black Panther's history in the comics. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.